Hi guys, it's Shelly here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. So today I was just coloring this page, just having me color time, and I thought that there is a tag going around at the moment that has been created by Amanda Colors on YouTube, and she also has an Instagram, I think by the same name, and her hashtag is Get to Know Me. And so I thought that I would do a tag while I'm just coloring this page. And there are 20 questions to answer. I don't have a very interesting life, so we'll see what answers I can actually come up with. But I thought it would be interesting just while I'm, doing a little bit of free coloring. And I'm going to be coloring in Enchanted Earth by Melpomeni Chatzipanagiotou. Her new book, which in the UK will be released in March. I think March the 30th is the release date, the same date as Kirby's new book Alien World, actually. So yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're both releasing on the same date. But yeah, I got a pre-released copy, which I'm sure you would have seen. I'll share the link below. I have done a flip through just to show what pages are in here, and the book is absolutely stunning. I love the illustrations in the book, and I wanted to jump in and I just couldn't choose which page to go for. So I just decided on the cover illustration, but I don't think, unless subconsciously I have used some of the colors, but I'm not going on the color scheme that's on the front. That was not the plan, but yeah, I guess I've gone for pink flowers, but that might have been very subconsciously I might have just gone for those flowers. But yeah, so this is the page I decided to start coloring, and I wanted to see, because if you guys saw my video, you'll know that I said the paper is thinner than her last books, and I wanted to see how my mediums work, because I absolutely love her artwork, as you guys know, and I'd be really disappointed if my mediums don't work. And so far I have used my Albert Dürer pencils, wet and dry, and I've also used my Tombow gel brush pens, and they work. Obviously I never really use, I never use watercolor paints, so I wouldn't drench my paper, so that's why you're not seeing any warping. I use very little water with my Albert Dürer pencils most of the time, unless I'm doing background, so sometimes more water gets used up. But they're such good pencils, and I've mentioned this a few times, and some people have asked me how to use the pencils, but I use such little water with the pencils because you don't need much to dissolve them, to activate them, to blend them together, and maybe that's why you can't see the warping, because I have used it for all of the grass there, for that large flower there, and for these flowers here so far. And then I've gone over with the pencils dry. But yeah, my mediums so far are working. I've not tried Neo colors or anything like that yet, and yeah, nothing goes through, as you can see. So around here, nothing's gone through yet. So yeah, my mediums so far are working okay. I'm not so sure how much water the paper would take, but anyways, let's get started. So the get to know me tag. The first question is, and I think I'll put the questions in the description box below if anyone else wants to do them. I'm not going to tag anyone. I don't know who has done them, who hasn't done them, and so I will just put the questions below in case anyone wants to do it. Go ahead. It'll be lovely to get to know more colorists a little bit more than we do. All right, so the first question is, where do you live? So I live in the UK, in London. I'm originally born and brought up in Kenya, and I studied in the UK, but my plan was always to go back to Kenya. But then of course I met my husband, and so it was inevitable that I would end up being here, because he is born and brought up in the UK. So yeah, I basically moved to the UK, and I'm now based in London. Number 2, when did you start coloring? So I have mentioned this before in my earlier videos, that the first time I ever started, obviously I colored as a child, and then life took over, and obviously you stop that sort of a hobby. But as an adult, the first time I colored was around, I can't remember the exact year. It was either 2015 or 2016. I feel like it was 2015 because that's when Kirby Rosan's Animorphia was released, and I had seen it in the bookstores, and I don't remember seeing any of his other books at that time. It was just that one book. So I think it was 2015, and I picked up his book and I started coloring with his book, but coloring didn't stick in 2015. And when I picked it up properly again, meaning that I color every day since I started coloring again, it would have been in 2020. So I tested the waters in 2015, but I officially started in 2020. Number 3, why did you start your YouTube channel? So I just started it on a whim, to be honest. I wanted to just share my coloring. I was already on Instagram, and I know I was sharing the, my completed pages on Instagram, but I just felt like I wanted to share, my process of coloring. Even though it's a very simple process, I don't do any, I'm not an artist. I don't do anything extravagant. I don't do anything out of the norm from what a lot of other colorists probably do. It's very simple, but I still thought I would like to share my process. And along with that was the interaction with the coloring community, with all of you. And that was another quite a big factor for me starting, because I don't have many people in my real life that are into coloring. My dad sometimes tries with me whenever he visits me. He might pick up a pencil because he used to like art when he was younger. But other than that, no one's really got a real interest in what I do when I'm coloring. So yeah, I thought that would be a nice way of interacting with like-minded people. And I also felt that it would be motivation for me. If I had a channel, it would motivate me to keep coloring. And the reason I say this, yes, I love the hobby enough to color, and I don't see myself, sorry, I'm just checking I'm in view. Yeah, okay. I don't see myself stopping coloring anytime soon, but I've had a lot of hobbies in the past. I want to put in some blue flowers, maybe around here to break up the pinks. Okay, yeah. So I feel like, yeah, I've had so many hobbies in the past. Like I love jigsaw puzzles, I love diamond painting, I have done cross stitching, I used to do baking, I used to like I used to make cupcakes, and I used to like the decorating part of it, so making the hard icing, so the fondant decorations, so the more artistic side of it more than the baking part. And so yeah, I've had so many hobbies in the past, and I always jump from hobby to hobby. You do a little hobby for a while and then you jump, even though you're enjoying it loads, you try something else. And I didn't want that to happen with coloring. I wanted to stick to it because I really do enjoy it. It's an easy hobby for me to do at any time for a few minutes. There's not much of a setup that you need to do. You just need your book, you need your pencils, and you can just get going. And so with my current lifestyle, it's a really good hobby to have because yeah, I feel that it's just easy to just sit down and do it, even for half an hour if you had half an hour. And yeah, that's the reason I didn't want to stop this hobby. I didn't want to jump to trying another hobby again. And I thought that having the channel would just keep me motivated to keep going, interacting with all of you, showing you guys things, what I'm coloring, how I'm coloring, will just keep me going with the hobby. That was a really long answer to just probably a simple question, but there we go. All right, number 4. Other than coloring, what do you like to do in your free time? I'm just thinking what to color next, guys. Maybe I can do these. So other than coloring, what do you like to do in your free time? Okay, so I don't get much free time. I think, well, I'm a mom of a 3-year-old, and so he takes up a lot of my time. Yes, he is in daycare, but he's only in daycare for half the day. And so on the days that I'm at home, I go in, once I collect him and bring him home, basically the rest of the day is for him. He's at that stage, obviously he doesn't have any siblings, and he's at that stage where he wants the full attention. So even if he's playing on his own, he wants you to sit down with him. And if I pull out my phone or I pull out my laptop, you know, sometimes I say, oh, okay, he's busy, he's playing with his blocks, for example. Let me pull out my laptop and try and do some editing on a video at the same time while I'm sitting on the floor with him. No, he will just look at me and he'll be like, Mom, put away your computer. Or if I have my phone, you know, trying to reply to messages on Instagram or on YouTube, Mommy, put away your phone. So, yeah, I would say all my time is his when he's home. I work as well, and I only work 2 days a week, but it's a full day of work. So I'm gone from morning to evening. So by the time I come back, it's literally, you know, bedtime routine, eat dinner, and I'm usually knackered. So bedtime for me too. And then, yeah, so family takes up time, work takes up time, and then there's not that much time to do anything else. I fit in my colouring, all the errands, things like that. So, yeah, I would just say that at the moment, nothing else, no other hobbies or nothing else in my free time that is for me other than colouring. Obviously, we go out, take my son out, grocery shopping, or we might go out to a restaurant or things like that, but no other, unfortunately, free time to do anything else at the moment. All right, number 5, what do you do for work? So I am a dentist, and yeah, I think my entire education once I hit secondary school was aimed at a medical field, really, science-based. So yeah, I'm a dentist. I enjoy it. I like the hands-on aspect of it, and that's probably why I like doing a lot of hobbies and creative things. I like that I'm not just sat at a desk. I don't think I could, when I was younger and I was trying to choose my profession, I don't think I could ever picture myself, you know, my whole family is business oriented, and I could not picture myself sitting in an office at a desk. I think I needed something a bit more active, something that gave me a new challenge every day. You know, just like with my colouring, I like to try so many different illustrations. Like you'll see me colouring, you know, a Kirby or Hannah Carlson, or all of us are like that, but very, very different depending on my mood. And I think dentistry gives me that, because you never know what case walks through the door, what you're going to have to do that day. Are you going to have to pull teeth out? Are you going to have to do a filling? Are you going to have to do whitening? Or, you know, so it's always something different, and I think I like that aspect of it, and the artistic aspect of it. All right, but it is very taxing. I would say it is tiring physically, yes, but I think more so than that, just mentally and emotionally as well, because a lot of patients that come, you know, not a lot, but some patients that come in, they feel like it's a safe place, and they do tend to, like, sometimes pour out their, you know, their issues in life, and just someone to talk to that they know it's whatever they say is going to be confidential. And so I think emotionally sometimes it is quite draining, because there are so many people out there going through so much in life, and yeah, I think it can take a toll on you sometimes. And yeah, and mentally, because you're dealing with people, you want to make sure that whatever care you provide, you're doing the best thing for them. So yeah, I think coloring has really helped me that way. I'm so glad I have this, because I can come and I can switch off and just take out whatever I need to on this piece of paper, basically. All right, it looks like we're going to be here for a long time, guys. I seem to be going off on tangents with every question. All right, number 6. I'll try and speed up. What are 3 random facts about you? Well, I used to play the violin. I tried learning how to play the piano, but I found it hard to remember the notes and things like that. So that didn't work, but I played the violin for quite a long time until I was in my A-levels, or until, yeah, almost uni time. And then the degree was a bit too much for me to do everything. So yeah, that's one fact. I have no idea, guys. My favorite cuisine is Thai. I love Thai food. I'm a very stubborn person. Not a good thing, because I can see it in my son as well now, and boy, it's hard to handle. So I don't know how my mom handled me, but yeah, I'm a very stubborn person. Which I think, yeah, it can be a negative, but it can also be a positive, because when you want something, when you want to do something or achieve something, you have that stubborn part of you to just say, I'm going to do it. I don't care what people say, and I'm going for it. So I think there's a positive side to it. If anyone ever calls you stubborn, there is a positive side to it. But yeah, as a mom right now, I don't see the positive side of it in my son. So yeah, those are 3 facts. Okay. Number 7. What is your favorite coloring book right now? So my favorite coloring book, that's a difficult one for me, because I tend to color with my mood. And I find it hard to think when I'm talking. Shall we do the branches? Let's do the branches. So I color with my mood, and I like all the books I've bought, I think. Majority of my books that I've bought, and I like to flip between them. So there's not one single book that I would say I color in the most, because every month I try to pick out different books. So even if it's from the same artist, so for example, if we talk about Hannah Carlson, I'll try and make sure that I don't color in the same book of hers the next month, for example. So I wouldn't say there's a book that I always pull out, because I want to color in all of my books and make sure that all my books are colored in. So maybe I'll say my favorite artists. I would say Melpomeni, definitely. I love her work. Even her nature mandalas, and I'm not a huge fan of mandalas. That's probably the only mandala book I have, but I absolutely love it. So basically her work I just love. So yeah, I would say Melpomeni is a favorite artist, and Rita Berman, definitely. I always enjoy coloring in her books. Clara Markova, definitely. And at the moment, I would say I'm really enjoying the mythographic series. The most recent books, the last few books that they've made, both Joseph Kattenbang and Fabiana Attanasio, I am really enjoying them. And so any mythographic, I would say, is also a favorite. I think, in fact, I feel like I don't have Alessandra Fusi's book, her older book, Wanderlust, but the new one, I think I'm even going to get that one, because I love some of the illustrations she's done. So basically that whole series is just amazing. So the paper, so the process of coloring on those pages, the artwork, it's just, yeah, beautiful books. So I would say the entire series of mythographic. I know it's not yeah, the correct answer to this question, but I don't think I can choose one single book. All right, number 8. What is your favorite coloring medium right now? Do you guys want to guess? It's not a hard one. I'd say my Albrecht Dürer pencils. Since I started colouring in 2015, they have been my go-to medium. So I learned how to use them for backgrounds, I've learned how to use them for basing, for waterly effects, for proper colour pencil effects. I can use them for anything. If I didn't have any other mediums for backgrounds or for pencils or for anything, basically I'd be happy with my Albrecht Dürer pencils and a book. And I use them wet and dry, as you guys know, and I use them even in Amazon books. My last colour along on the channel, well, I think it might be the last when this video comes out, but basically the colour along I did in Tatiana Bogema's Nice Little Town Valentine's Day, I used my Albrecht Dürer pencils in that paper, and I activated it with water, even though it's Amazon paper, and it worked, and I did the background with it. So basically, as you guys know, my favourite medium are pencils, and specifically the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer pencils. Always have been since day one. Well, not day one specifically, but the first couple of months of colouring in 2015 till now. I'm sure I'll try other mediums. I'm sure I will try other pencils, but I think my Albrecht Dürer pencils will always be my go-to. All right. What number was that? Number 8. Okay, so number 9. How many colouring books have you completed? Oh, this will be a short answer. None. Yeah, none. I don't think I colour fast enough to finish a book. I don't think I want to put that pressure on me. Like I said, I like to colour in all my books equally. I want to try and make sure I do colour in all of them, and so I don't want to give all of my attention on just one book. But eventually I'd like to finish books, and maybe I should consider doing a video on that and just discussing. But when I say eventually, I could be even, my son could have had kids by then and now may not have finished it. So yeah, I don't envisage myself finishing one anytime soon, but I would like to, but I haven't finished any yet. All right, that was number 9. Number 10, do you have any secret skills? No, boring, I know, but no, sadly not. Number 11, do you collect anything? Yes, colouring books. So I collect colouring books like everyone else. I wouldn't say I collect pencils or anything, because I don't have that whole collection of pencils or anything like that, or markers or anything. But I would say colouring books. At the moment, I haven't yet hit 100 books, so I have a lot of catching up to do compared to other people who are collecting colouring books as well. So I have a small collection compared to many, but it's a collection. So yeah, I'd say colouring books. But in the past, I used to colour, I used to collect, well, it was literally just till recently I stopped, and I had to, I think it just became a bit silly, I think, and I had to give them all away. But I used to collect keychains from places I travelled, or if people travelled and they brought me a keychain, I used to collect them, and I had tons of keychains. I'd actually, my mum had got a cabinet made, my mum and dad had got a cabinet made for me back home, which was in our study, and it was a cabinet with hooks on it, so I could hang my keychains on it, and it had glass sliding doors, so you could just see all the keychains hanging there. So yeah, for a long time I collected key rings, and it was just last year when I went back home to Kenya to visit my family, I finally had to say, okay, this is ridiculous. I haven't even taken it to the UK. Where am I going to keep it in the UK? I have no space to make a cabinet for myself there. It's probably just going to go in a box. And so I gave them away, which is really, really sad, because I had tons and tons and tons. But yeah, so I used to collect key rings just till last year. I said I better grow up and yeah, give them away. So that's that. Do you collect, okay, number 12, what is your greatest accomplishment in life? I would say, I know this is a boring answer, but I would say my profession, because I went through a lot to get to graduate as a dentist. My entire education, basically, like I said, when I hit secondary school, my entire education was focused on the sciences, and I don't think I could ever see myself doing anything else other than something in the medical field. And from such a young age, you know, having that sort of vision, and then it's actually happening. Because, you know, when you're young, you say, oh, I want to be, I don't know, an artist or an architect or a fireman or firewoman, or any of that. I think in my mind, I always had that I was going to be in the medical field, not necessarily a dentist, but I knew that I was going to do sciences, and I just liked the idea of it. And yeah, so I think the fact that it actually happened is an accomplishment for me. It wasn't an easy ride. It was a tough path to follow, and yeah, I think achieving it was definitely the biggest thing I have done. Number 13, what is your favorite childhood memory? I think this one is quite a hard one for me, because like I was just saying, following my career path was not easy. And part of it was because, I need to make this a bit more intense, sorry. A part of it, of following this career path meant that, like I said, I was from Kenya. It meant that I needed to leave home quite early to try and follow the path that would lead me to it. And so I left home, basically, Kenya, at the age of 16. It was my parents' decision. And I think they made a great decision, but it was a very difficult thing for me to go through, because you live a very sheltered life in Kenya with your family. You're very dependent on everyone around you. And so coming to the UK was a big shock to, you know, just the culture, the lifestyle, me having to learn how to do chores. I know it sounds silly, but that's the lifestyle in Kenya. You don't do chores and things like that as such. I was not a naughty kid or anything, but just having to learn how to look after myself and be a teenager and interact with people from so many different cultures, because the school I went to had a lot of international students. But yeah, coming and doing all of that, and just not having my parents to lean on was a big step for me, a hard step for me. And but yeah, I did my A-levels, and then I followed on and did my uni and stuff. So basically what I'm saying is, more than half of my life now, I would say, I have had away from my parents, from my immediate family. And so I think I cherish all the memories I had with them as a child. So I would say basically any time I've spent with my parents and my siblings would be a favorite memory. I know it sounds really cheesy and sad, but that is the case. But I do remember little things like, you know, doing hobbies with my parents. For example, 3D puzzles. I remember doing a Big Ben 3D puzzle with my dad, and you know, I think there was a Taj Mahal 3D puzzle. I think 3D puzzles was a new thing when I was a bit, you know, a certain age, and so I remember doing that with them. I remember playing video games with my brother. I loved doing that. I used to share a room with my sister until she got married, so it used to be lovely having a roommate. I remember playing table tennis with my dad. We had a table tennis table back home, well, a long time ago, obviously. So I remember doing that. I remember my mom coming for all my swimming competitions and my concerts, because I used to play the violin. Like I said, I used to be in the orchestra, I used to be in the choir, and my mom would always be there in the audience. And yeah, so there's so many happy memories, our holidays, things like that. So I don't think I can pick a single one. I think I cherish them all. Like I said, it is quite cheesy, but yeah, I cherish them all. Yeah. All right. I don't think I'm giving very good answers. Sorry, guys. Hope you guys are still here. Number 14. What are you passionate about? So I'm passionate about my family, whether it's my parents and siblings or my little family now, my husband and my son. I'm passionate about my profession. I am passionate about coloring, definitely. Yeah, what else? That's it, really, I think. I think that's what, yeah, those are probably the things I'm most passionate about. Yeah, that's it. Number 15, what is something that always makes you smile? Yeah, this is an easy one now. I think before I probably wouldn't have a straightforward answer for this, but the thing that always makes me smile nowadays, for the last 3 years, is my son. Yeah, he's amazing. Yes, he's hard work sometimes, but definitely has a very funny streak to him. So I'm just looking forward to see what he grows up to become. But just looking at the innocence at this stage in their life is just amazing. The love they have for people, the carefreeness, the happiness they have, because basically life has not yet messed it up for them. The stresses of life and everything around them, and just seeing that innocence, that life in them, that carefreeness is just amazing. And yeah, just seeing him growing up is pretty amazing. So yeah, I would say, again, quite cheesy, but my son. All right, number 16. Name 3 coloring books that are on your wish list. I have quite a few on my wish list. Like I said, I've not even got 100 books yet. But the ones that come off the top of my head would be Paul's books. So I only have one of her books, the first one. So I really do want the other books. So Paul's other 2 books. Then Paul Brune, which is a new book. I think I showed you guys in my video for you know, pages I would like to color during the spring season. So for the next 3 months, from March to May, I showed you the Paul Brune book, which is called what, Animaux de Bois, I think it's French. And he has a new book, or she has a new book coming out in March, called Amazon, or basically in French, and I'm assuming it translates to Amazon because it's Amazon with an E. But yeah, I've seen some of the illustrations, on sneak peek illustrations on their Instagram account, and I think it comes out on the 8th of March, and I don't know if it's going to be available or not on Amazon UK, but I 100% want that book. I absolutely love it already. Just seeing what the quality of this particular book was, I think I'm going to love that book as well. But the illustrations are really, really wonderful. So definitely that one. And then, oh yeah, on my Amazon Japan wish list, I haven't got all of Eri's books, so that's there. But Ken Mitsuda, that's always been on my wish list, but it's been out of stock for like ever. So I don't know, is it out of stock, or I mean, is it out of print or what? Because it's never coming into stock, and I'm so sad because as you guys know, I don't buy a book straight away, like when it comes out usually. I have done with Melpomeni's books all the time, but other than her books, I usually just buy them. I spread out my buys, so I always have something to look forward to. And so with Amazon Japan, I wait to collect a few books that I want, and then I'll buy them at the same time when I'm not buying any other books, because it would be a big order, and I like to keep some books to look forward to. I just didn't buy Ken Matsuda's book that quickly, and I don't know if it's still out there, which is sad. I really want that book. So that's on my wish list. And then, yeah, obviously those are the three. It asked for 3, right? But I'll just give a few more. Mythographics are always on my list, and I've never tried any of the coloriage books, so those are all on my list, but I don't tend to gravitate towards portraits that often, which is why I've never bought them yet. Christine Karen is probably my favorite for portraits, and so yes, I'm waiting for her artist edition of her book that's going to come out in, I can't remember, April on Amazon UK, I think. So I'm waiting for that book as well, so that's on my wish list. And RJ Hampson's new book. So I don't have any of his books, and I really found this frog one so cute. So I might try that out. I know it's Amazon paper, but hopefully it's good Amazon paper, because yeah, I think that book looks very fun to color, so I wouldn't mind having that book. So that's more than 3 books on my wish list. I have loads of books on my wish list, guys. All right, number 17. What is your favorite random fact? I'm a boring person. I don't have favorite random facts. There was one. It's not my favorite, it's just a fact. Hopefully it's a true fact. But I hate airplane food. I just feel like they don't really have much of a much taste. But apparently, when you fly, due to the elevation, you lose your sense, a bit of your sense of smell and your sense of taste. So apparently you lose about 30% of your taste bud sensitivity. Trust me to have a fact about the mouth, right? So yeah, you lose 30% of your sensitivity of your taste buds, which is probably why food tastes, yeah, basically tasteless on the airplanes. So if any of you don't like food, that's probably, if you don't like airplane food like myself, that's probably why. Yeah, so that's a fact. Not my favorite fact, just a fact. Yeah. All right, not for long now, hopefully, but the way I'm answering the questions, it might be. Number 18. What coloring book do you wish existed? I don't think I've thought about this before. Yeah, I don't think I have. I'm trying to think if there's any theme that's not out there that I would want, but I don't think there is. Yeah, I don't think there is. I just want coloring books to keep coming, and I just want the artists, all my favorite artists, to not stop producing them. That's it. As long as the coloring books are there, I'm happy. I don't think there's a specific one I would want. Yeah. Or maybe, okay, wait, maybe Rita Berman, she's doing all these travel books, right? So she's done Europe and she's done Asia. I think, obviously, America, Canada, all of that would be an awesome one, because there must be so much to be able to put on there. So, for example, the Amazon rainforest, and then more of the architecture and winter, and there must be so much she can put on there. Sport, so ice hockey, things like that. So that would be one of the books, if she does go through all the continents, that would be really nice. And obviously, being from Kenya, which is in Africa, I would love her to do a book on Africa. I think Africa, would there be a lot to put in a coloring book? I don't know. Obviously, you have the safari and you have the beaches and you have like Mount Kenya and Kilimanjaro, so maybe mountains. Architecture, I don't know, maybe South Africa might have certain things. Just trying to think. Animals, obviously. Yeah, Egypt, pyramids, things like that. So maybe some stuff. I don't know how much. Well, we'll find out. Obviously, there'll be the more cultural aspects. So, for example, in Kenya, the Maasai and their Maasai huts, and all their jewelry, the beaded jewelry. So yeah, so there is stuff to do for Africa as well. So I hope she comes with a couple more books. So Africa, America, that would be quite cool. All right, there we go. So I thought of one. Now I hope it's made. All right, number 19. What is a challenge you have faced and overcome? I think it would be just going back to my educational life, really. I think it was a massive challenge for me to leave home at such a young age when I had no idea what life in the UK was about. I'd never lived away from my parents, and being able to adjust to a new culture, a new life, and you know, just keep pushing myself through until I achieved what I wanted to. I think that was a challenge, and I know it's boring, but yeah, I would say that was a challenge for me, and I overcame it. I faced it head on, and I did overcome it. Because I remember when I came to the UK at the age of 16, and I was in a boarding school, so it was very, very different from living at home. And I remember in the first week being in tears. I could only talk to my parents. At that time, we didn't have FaceTime, and, you know, there was no Skype. I don't even know if some people know what Skype is, but there was also Skype and, you know, all of those kind of things. We didn't have internet in our bedrooms, and so there were only 3 computers in the dorms that I used to live in, and so the computers were not always free. So for things like MSN, do you guys know what MSN chat is? Things like that. There was no Facebook, there was no WhatsApp, none of that. I had a Nokia 3310 at that time, and making international calls was really, really expensive. And so my parents only used to call me. I used to go from seeing them every single day to just talking to them once a week on a Sunday. And it would be a short phone call, not longer than like 15-20 minutes, because it costs so much to make those international direct phone calls. And so yeah, it was tough. It was tough. And I remember crying on that first weekend. I talked to them and I'm like, I can't live here. It's very different. I miss the food. I miss you guys. I just miss home. And, you know, there's so many rules because you're in a boarding school, you know, lights out and things like that. I'm like, there's so many rules. The food is different. I miss my spicy home food and all of that kind of stuff. And my dad was like, I remember my dad telling me, okay, give it a month. Just try and stick it out for a month. And if you don't like it there, if you can't cope, then we will bring you back home and we'll look for a school for you, you know, at home. And within that month, I managed to adjust myself, and I made some amazing friends, and it just got easier. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough at that age, and tough from having your family around with you to just speaking to them once a week, and that's it. So yeah. So what was the question, guys? What is a challenge you have faced and overcome? Yeah, so it was a big challenge for me at that age, and yeah, I overcame it. I did it, and I'm here today, colouring and enjoying my colouring, which is wonderful. All right. Yeah, let's just go to number 20. There's just the last question. What is the strangest food combination you enjoy? I'm just laughing at myself because, yeah, I just keep going off on tangents. Strangest food. I don't think I have one, guys. So this one will be nice and short. I don't think there is anything. I enjoy my food, but I don't think there is a strange combination. Yeah, I don't think there is one, guys. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be answering that question. And those are all the questions done. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I know it was a bit chatty. These questions are wonderful. It does make you think back about your past and where you've come from and how far you've gone. And it's nice. It was a nice question. So well done, Amanda, for making up these questions, and thank you for putting it out there for us to answer. And I won't be tagging anyone, but anyone who wants to answer them, please do, to whatever level you want to answer. If there's something you don't want to share, don't share it. That's okay. That's what Amanda has said. Just whatever you're comfortable in answering, however much information you want to give, do it like that. So if anyone is interested, then yeah, it would be lovely to get to know more colorists out there. And yeah, that's it, guys. I will link Amanda's channel below. Go and watch her video. And if you do the tag, make sure you tag her and give her credit. I'll make sure I remember to do it in the description box below. And use the hashtag, what was the hashtag? Get to know me. Hashtag get to know me. And yeah, it would be lovely to hear your answers. All right, guys, so I'll leave you to it. Hopefully I have been in shot the whole time. Yeah, I hope you guys like how my page is coming out. I think I do like it. I just sorry if the sound has changed. I've just stood up, but I'm not so sure about these orange. I'm not very good at combining orange and red and yellow. I think that's something I need to work on. I use pinks a lot, but oranges and yellows not so much. So I always struggle with that. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about those. But I think I might do one more orange somewhere up here just to balance it out, and then maybe not use so much orange because I'm not so sure how it's looking. But yeah, I'm enjoying this, and it's good. The paper is working. It's thinner, but it's working, so that's brilliant. So I'm going to enjoy this book, and hopefully I'll get this page done soon. All right, guys, I'll leave you to it, and I'll be back with you guys again soon with another video, hopefully. So until then, take care. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more, because I know other than coloring, you may not know that much about, you know, the people who do videos, or even on Instagram when you're interacting with people. Sometimes you don't know much about them unless, you know, you get into a mode of emailing or direct messaging, and then you make friends, which is lovely. But hopefully you enjoyed listening to my answers and getting to know me a little bit more. But yeah, until my next video, take care. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.